In Lecture 3, we will be looking at the fit and proper requirements, specifically honesty, integrity, and competence.
Like I have mentioned before, FSPs have fit and proper requirements. So what makes an FSP fit and proper to act that way? So we'll deal with the requirements now. So it says here that all proposed FSPs must meet certain fit and proper requirements. There's criteria. So these requirements include, but are not limited to, appropriate standards regarding personal characteristics of honesty and integrity, competence encompassing standards relating to experience, qualifications and knowledge tested through examinations determined by the registrar, operational ability, financial soundness, and continued professional development. So we'll go through each one of these aspects that the fit and proper requirements deal with. Okay, when you talk about continued professional development, I'm sure everybody's heard of CPD points. When you attend a certain lecture or workshop, you get a CPD point or half a point, and you need to have a certain number of points at the end of the year to make sure that you are continuously developing your knowledge to stay up to date with what is happening in the financial system. If you look at honesty and integrity, this applies to all categories of FSP, but the categories are so different that the characteristics also need to be different for each category. If you look at honesty and integrity, how do you ensure that someone's personal characteristics are there? So in the case of a partnership or a corporate, you would look at key individuals such as directors and members of the board, etc. But how will you know if someone has honesty and integrity? So the registrar has given a list of things that will indicate that someone is not of good character and integrity. And it says within the previous 5 years, if they have been found guilty, criminally or civilly, of any fraudulent, dishonest, unprofessional behavior in terms of a breach of a fiduciary duty, if they have been found guilty or denied membership by a voluntary or statutory body recognized by the FSCA for dishonesty, negligence, incompetence, or mismanagement. So if they've been denied membership because of an administrative issue, that doesn't speak to their character. We're talking specifically about dishonesty, negligence, incompetence, or mismanagement. Then they talk about found guilty and they've had to cease their business or suspended their license because of dishonesty, mismanagement, negligence, incompetence, or some aspect of their character. If they've had a license suspended or withdrawn because of dishonesty, mismanagement, negligence, or incompetence. Then that is all in the preceding 5 years. It says any time before the application they have been disqualified or prohibited by a court of law in South Africa or anywhere else from taking part in the management of a company, irrespective of whether that disqualification has been lifted or not. An FSP and a key individual must apply, and the application must be candid and accurate. You need to disclose all the information at your disposal. When you look at the competence requirements, it deals with qualification and experience. So it says that an FSP, a key individual, and a representative have to have the following requirements. The relevant qualifications, so that will differ with regards to the different categories. They need to pass either the first or second regulatory exams, so you can write FSP exams. They need to have a certain amount of experience, and like we said before, continuous professional development. So if you look at a sole proprietor, the person who's in charge of that sole proprietorship needs to meet all those requirements because they are the key individual of that business. The key individual of the other businesses need to meet all the minimum requirements. If you look at experience requirements, okay, so key individuals, sole proprietors, and representatives. So this is category 1 and 2 FSP. The experience is practical experience gained in the rendering of financial services. So it looks at the activity as well as the specific product. So generally, before someone becomes a financial services provider, they will intern or shadow an FSP to see what is done. So if you have your broker or any other financial services provider, sometimes they will have an intern who will follow them around and gain that practical experience in rendering the services, see how it is done, and also they will learn about the financial product on offer. This also involves ongoing gaining of knowledge and skills and experience because the law is alive, it changes all the time. So you need to ensure that your knowledge and experience changes as the legislation changes. So you need to upgrade your knowledge and experience all the time. When you look at category 2A, it talks about 3 years of experiences gained in the registering of services as well as active and ongoing knowledge. In category 3, it's also 3 years of rendering financial services. In category 4, it talks about 1 year's practical experience in the rendering of those services. With key individuals, category 1, it's 1 year practical experiences. Key individuals in category 2 and 2A is also 1 year experience in the managing and oversight, as well as 1 year experience providing the financial service. Key individuals that would deal with category 3, they have to have 1 year practical experience in management and oversight, as well as 3 years of practical experience providing the financial services. Category 4, key individuals need 1 year practical experience in management and oversight. When you deal with your qualification requirements, an FSP needs to have a recognized qualification. So the registrar will decide what type of qualifications would be recognized in order to render a financial service. So there should be some knowledge of financial services and the financial market. So if you look at a category 1 FSP, the entry level requirement is a matric or matric equivalent.